Hello, and welcome to this short introduction to the idea of a positive no. All credit to William Ury, so I've got a glare, who lays out the model along with many excellent examples, stories and tips in this book, The Power of a Positive No. I highly recommend the whole book. It's very readable, and I've had more than one student say that it was the single most impactful thing that they encountered in their classes. In this video, I'm going to sketch the model. It's actually very simple, and then focus in on the first step, which is to get ourselves rooted in a yes to our values or needs. Most of us have a lot of trouble saying no. This trouble might come in avoiding saying no when we should, or in saying it poorly. The main danger of avoiding our no's is that we bend to what other people want even when it is not good for us. The main danger of saying no poorly is that it can harm our relationships with the people that we tell it to. So it is crucial to get good at saying no. By no, we mean a pretty broad category, everything from setting important personal boundaries to requesting a change from someone to refusing requests when they don't fit well for us. So how do we do this? If you remember one thing, remember that a good no doesn't start with no, it starts with yes. In fact, Ury describes a positive no as going yes, no, yes. In this session, we're thinking about that first yes. Every no that we have to say, or wish we could say, is there because it is trying to protect something important to us. And the first yes is naming that thing. It is a yes to a need or a value or a goal. When someone asks us to do something for them or to make a change, we may believe that our answer needs to be a yes or no to that particular request. But in fact, Ury recommends that when we decide to say no, we start with first giving the yes that is the reason. Our reason. For an example, I might be asked to fill in for my kids' carpool on a morning that I don't usually drive. And if I agreed to the request, I would be late for my first meeting of the workday. Instead of starting with, I can't do that, or that won't work for me, in other words, instead of starting with the no, I will start with, I have an 8:30 meeting that day, and it's important that I don't reschedule with this client. Or if I don't feel like being that detailed, just I need to be at work by the regular time that day. This is, of course, a pretty low stakes example, but even in this kind of situation, a positive no can strengthen the relationship bit by bit, instead of only getting the schedule arranged. So for another example, let's say your parents keep saying that they want you to come home by the same time on weekend nights as you do on school nights, and you strongly want to be able to decide how late you stay out on weekends. It is definitely tempting to either avoid giving an answer at all, or to use very strong language to try to shut down the topic. And neither of those responses will get you a satisfying outcome, though, if it is important to you to maintain connection with your parents and also to have more freedom to decide what you do in the evenings. So in this example, it will serve you very well to identify and then express your yes, which is your reason for wanting to give the no. So one way to stay focused on giving the first yes when talking to someone is to use a formula like, because it is very important to me to blank, and go from there. Or it is important to me to know that or it is important for me to keep, or it is important for me to feel, and that kind of thing. The best thing we can do for ourselves and for the people we need to say no to is to get clear on what we are saying yes to. While this will be different in some ways for each specific situation, there are basic underlying values that each of us holds. And I hope that the values list and short activity that you are about to do will help you have more clarity and confidence in saying what is truly important to you.